Groceries up 25% in 2 years. Energy bills doubling. Nurses using food banks. The UK isn't just getting expensive, it's becoming unlivable. Families are choosing between heating and eating. Full-time workers are sinking into debt, and even the basics now feel like luxuries. Is this a temporary storm, or the start of a total collapse? Behind the headlines lies a deeper crisis, one that's shaking households, breaking systems, and leaving millions trapped. What's really going on? And how bad could it get? Let's uncover the 10 shocking reasons why the UK's cost of living has just snapped beyond control. Number 1. Inflation eating through paychecks. The UK's inflation rate has spiraled, hitting families where it hurts most, their paychecks. Prices for essentials like bread, milk, and fuel have surged, while wages remain stagnant. What used to be a routine grocery trip now feels like a luxury spree. Even middle-income earners are scaling back, choosing own-brand labels or skipping items altogether. The pound's shrinking value means your money buys less and less each month. This isn't just a blip, it's a sustained squeeze. And as living costs rise, many are forced to cut back on healthcare, childcare, and even heating just to stay afloat. Number 2. Energy prices. Going nuclear, the UK is facing an energy shockwave like never before. Electricity and gas bills have soared, with some households paying double or even triple what they did just a year ago. The energy price cap has been raised multiple times, pushing families to the edge. Many now ration heating, use blankets indoors, or rely on hot water bottles instead of turning on radiators. This isn't winter hardship, it's becoming year-round reality. Businesses are suffering too, with some shutting down due to unsustainable costs. The most heartbreaking part? Parents skipping heat so their children can stay warm. The crisis is deepening fast. Number 3. Wage stagnation. Across key sectors, while prices rise, paychecks stay frozen. In sectors like healthcare, education, and public transport, workers have seen little to no wage growth for over a decade. Nurses, teachers, and bus drivers are doing more for less real income. Even as demands increase, their salaries fail to match inflation, effectively reducing their buying power. This isn't just about numbers, it's about morale, motivation, and mental health. Many are now working second jobs, skipping breaks, or leaving professions altogether. Meanwhile, the gap between executive pay and frontline workers continues to widen. The result? A burned-out workforce barely scraping by. Number 4. Housing crisis and rent. Insanity. The UK's housing market has become a nightmare for renters and buyers alike. Rent prices in cities like London, Manchester, and Bristol have shot up by double digits, outpacing wage growth. Young people are stuck in shared flats, sometimes paying over half their income just for a room. Home ownership feels like a distant dream, with deposit requirements and interest rates soaring. Even long-term tenants face no-fault evictions, forcing them into bidding wars or temporary housing. Homelessness is rising, and councils are overwhelmed. This isn't a housing market, it's a housing emergency, and it's leaving families trapped, stressed, and unstable. Number 5. Broken supply chains equals higher costs. The UK's supply chains are under immense strain, and it's hitting consumers hard. Since Brexit, along with the impact of COVID-19 and the Ukraine conflict, importing goods has become slower and more expensive. Fresh produce, meat, and even basic household items now face delays, shortages, or steep price increases. Supermarkets are seeing bare shelves, and many businesses are absorbing losses or passing them on to customers. Small shops are especially vulnerable, struggling to stay stocked and competitive. When everyday products become luxuries, people are forced to make tough choices. Supply isn't keeping up, and the cost of waiting is growing. Number 6. Tax pressures on the working class. While living costs rise, so do tax burdens, especially for the working and middle classes. Recent hikes in national insurance, council tax, and income deductions mean families are keeping less of what they earn. What's worse, wealthy individuals and large corporations often find loopholes or benefit from generous tax breaks. The result is a system where the average worker shoulders the load while the top tier pays a fraction by comparison. It's creating a growing sense of injustice and resentment. With utility bills, rent, and fuel costs already crushing budgets, every additional tax feels like a punch to the gut. Number 7. Public services are crumbling. The UK's once proud public services are now showing signs of serious collapse. The NHS is under immense pressure, with waiting times stretching into months and ambulance delays becoming life-threatening. Public transport is unreliable, with constant strikes, cancellations, and fare hikes. Schools are underfunded, classrooms overcrowded, and teachers leaving in droves. People are paying more in taxes but receiving less in return. It's creating a growing sense of disillusionment. For many, services that were once lifelines are now last resorts, riddled with delays, shortages, and burnout. When essential systems fail, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a warning sign of deeper instability. Number 8. Card debt skyrocketing. As daily costs spiral, more people are turning to credit cards just to cover essentials. From groceries to utility bills, plastic is becoming a lifeline, but a dangerous one. The UK's personal debt levels are nearing pre-2008 crisis figures, and with rising interest rates, repayments are snowballing. What begins as a short-term fix becomes a long-term trap, especially for low-income households. Many are juggling multiple cards, making only minimum payments and falling into debt spirals they can't escape. It's a quiet crisis, invisible but widespread, and it's draining both wallets and mental health. The burden isn't just financial, it's emotional and exhausting. Number 9. Food banks overrun and normalized. Food banks, once a last resort, have now become a normal part of survival for many working Brits. Even families with full-time jobs are turning to these lifelines just to put meals on the table. But as demand explodes, donations are struggling to keep pace. Many food banks are being forced to limit supplies or turn people away. What's truly alarming is how normalized this crisis has become. Children growing up thinking free food parcels are routine, while parents carry the weight of shame and worry. In a developed nation, hunger shouldn't be this widespread, yet it's becoming an everyday reality. Number 10. Mental health crisis tied to money worries. The UK is facing a mental health emergency, and financial stress is at the heart of it. Rising bills, debt, and job insecurity are fueling an epidemic of anxiety, depression, and even burnout. Helplines are receiving record calls, therapy waiting lists are months long, and people are suffering in silence. For many, the pressure to stay afloat financially has become overwhelming, affecting sleep, relationships, and even physical health. It's not just about struggling to survive, it's about losing hope. When basic stability feels unreachable, the human cost is massive. This crisis isn't just economic, it's deeply and dangerously emotional. The cost of living crisis in the UK isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about real people facing impossible choices. From skyrocketing rent to crumbling public services, every corner of life is being squeezed. These 10 reasons aren't isolated, they're interconnected, creating a system that feels impossible to escape. But the first step toward change is awareness. If this video opened your eyes or echoed what you're living through, don't let the conversation stop here. Your voice matters, and together we can push back against the silence.